Have you ever felt the weight of a moment so powerful that you knew life would never be the same after it? That quiet whisper inside, telling you that this is it, your chance, your turning point, your final call. Most people ignore that voice. They silence it with excuses, with fear, with comfort. But deep down, the human mind is wired to respond when urgency rises. When you feel like time is running out, something wakes up inside you. Something stronger than laziness, louder than doubt, more powerful than fear. This is not just another week. This is not just another day. It is a call. A call to rise. A call to step out of the shadows of your hesitation and walk into the light of your potential. And here's the truth. If you choose to ignore this call, life will keep moving forward without you. Time waits for no one. The opportunities of this week will not return. Why do so many people wait until the very last moment to act? Because that's how the mind works. Pressure forces growth. Deadlines create energy. Urgency lights a fire that nothing else can. Think about it. When you had a project due, when you faced the end of a chapter in your life, when you realized you were running out of time, that's when your true strength appeared. Not before. Not when things were easy, but when the final call came. That is what this moment represents. A signal that your chance to change is here. The last week of September is not just a date on the calendar. It is a symbol, a reminder that you don't have forever, a mirror that shows you the truth. Your time is now. The human brain resists change because it clings to comfort. But when the word "a last year" appears, last chance, last call, last moment, it shakes the mind awake. It whispers, act now or regret forever. This is why this week matters more than the rest. It is not about the days. It is about the meaning you attach to them. Imagine yourself at the edge of a cliff. Behind you, all the excuses, all the wasted time, all the fears that held you back. Ahead of you, a leap into possibility, into growth, into the life you always dreamed of. The final call is that edge. You can step back and return to the old way, or you can step forward and discover who you truly are. Ask yourself, what have you been delaying? What dream has been sitting in your heart, waiting for you to move? What change have you been promising yourself, only to push it further into tomorrow? The final call is not tomorrow, it is today. The reward is waiting. And if you watch till the end of this message, you will hold a key, one thought, one decision that can unlock the door to a life you didn't think was possible. But here's the challenge. Most people hear the final call and still do nothing. They think they have more time. They think another chance will come. And so years slip away and regret becomes the loudest voice in their soul. Do not let that be you. Do not let your future self look back and wish you had acted when you had the chance. This is your reminder. Pressure is not the enemy. Pressure is your ally. It is the force that makes diamonds out of coal. It is the fire that forges strength out of weakness. And this final call is the pressure your life has been waiting for. You are being called to rise, to act, to step into a version of yourself that fear has been hiding from you. The last week of September can be just another page on the calendar. Or it can be the week everything changes. The choice is yours, the voice is clear. The final call has been made. Will you answer it or will you silence it? Because when you answer, you do not just change a week, you change a lifetime. Time is the one thing every human shares, yet it is the one thing most people waste without realizing its true value. You can recover money. You can rebuild strength. You can fix mistakes. But once time slips through your hands, it never returns. This is why the weight of time is heavier than anything else in life. It presses on you every day, silently reminding you that your moments are limited, your chances are numbered, and your future is shaped by what you choose to do right now. Think about how easy it is to waste an hour, a day, even a week. We tell ourselves we will start tomorrow. We will change when the time is right. We will act when we feel ready. But here's the truth. There is no perfect time. There is only now. And the longer you wait, the more the weight of time pulls you down. Human psychology proves that regret always weighs more than effort. People rarely look back and say, I tried too hard. But countless lives end with the thought, I could have done more. I could have started earlier. This is the pain of wasted time, a pain no success can erase once it's too late. When you see time as endless, you drift. You move without urgency. But when you feel the truth that every second is slipping away, you wake up. Suddenly, every choice matters. Every decision shapes your path. Every moment is either an investment in your dream or a debt you will pay in regret. The weight of time is not meant to crush you. It is meant to awaken you. It is the pressure that tells you life is not to be lived in hesitation, but in boldness. You cannot control how much time you have left, but you can control how deeply you live the time that remains. And the last week of September is your reminder that time is moving, whether you act or not. The only question is, will you let it pass or will you rise and make it count? Every season carries a message, and September speaks of change. It is the bridge between endings and beginnings. The air shifts, the days shorten, and nature reminds us that nothing stays the same. For many, it feels like just another month. But for those who are awake, September becomes a turning point, a chance to align with life's rhythm and make the shift they have been postponing. When you understand the psychology of change, you see why this moment matters. The human mind is moved by signals, by transitions, by markers that say, now is the time. That is why the end of a week, the end of a month, or the end of a season feels powerful. It gives you the sense of a fresh start, even though time itself never stops. The last week of September is exactly that signal. It is not just about dates, it is about meaning. Think of how often people wait for a new year to set goals, or for Monday to start fresh. This is human nature, searching for a marker, a line between the old and the new. But the truth is, you do not need to wait for the calendar to give you permission. The turning point is here. The moment you decide September is the line, it becomes the line. The moment you declare this week is the shift, it becomes the shift. September holds the power of transition. It carries the energy of letting go of what no longer serves you and stepping into what is waiting ahead. This is not coincidence, it is choice, it is awareness. It is you deciding that this week is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. The last week of September can be a page you flip without noticing, or it can be the page that rewrites your story. The turning point does not happen outside of you, it happens within you. And once you see this truth, once you claim this moment, you realize already started to change. Every turning point carries a secret, an opportunity that most people never see. Why? Because opportunities rarely come dressed in comfort. They hide inside challenges, in moments of uncertainty, in seasons when nothing feels easy. It is a hidden door, disguised as ordinary time, waiting for you to walk through it. Think about it. How many times have you faced a situation that felt like an obstacle, only to later realize it was a gift? Goals remain wishes, but with urgency the mind shifts into clarity. It stops asking, should I, and starts declaring, I must. And that shift is where transformation begins. The last week of September carries this exact psychology. It reminds you that time is not endless, that hesitation has a cost, and that your window to act is shrinking. Most people waste their lives because they believe they always have tomorrow. But when you truly feel urgency, tomorrow disappears. Only today remains. And here is the secret. Urgency is not something you wait to feel. It is something you choose to create. You decide that the moment matters. You declare that this week counts. You treat your goals as if the deadline is now. And when you do, your energy multiplies, your fear fades, and your actions become unstoppable. Urgency is the spark that turns hesitation into decision and decision into destiny. The goal is not asking you to wait, it is asking you to act right here, right now. Urgency is powerful because it reveals a truth most people try to ignore: the cost of waiting. Every time you delay action, you are not standing still, you are falling behind. Life does not pause when you hesitate. Time moves forward, opportunities fade, and the gap between who you are and who you could become grows wider. Waiting feels safe. It convinces you that you are being careful, that you are protecting yourself from mistakes. But in reality, waiting is the most dangerous choice of all. It drains your energy, it feeds your doubt, and it steals the very chance you are searching for. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move. The brain gets comfortable in delay, and soon delay becomes your lifestyle. Think about it. How many dreams have been buried? Not because someone failed, but because they waited too long to even start. How many lives were left unlived because people believed they had more time? Regret is always the price of waiting, and it is a price far heavier than failure. Failure at least teaches. Waiting teaches nothing. It only leaves you with the question, what if? The last week of September shines a light on this truth. It reminds you that delay is not neutral. It is costly. Every excuse, every hesitation, Every promise to start tomorrow is a debt you will pay later with regret. But every action you take today, no matter how small, becomes an investment in your future. You cannot control the time that has already passed, but you can refuse to lose another moment to hesitation. The cost of waiting is too high, and the reward of acting is too great. The call before you is clear. Move now before the door closes. Choose action over delay, courage over comfort, and presence over regret. The time is here and it will not wait for you. If waiting is the costliest mistake, then decision is the greatest power you hold. One clear decision can do what months of hesitation never could. It can cut through confusion, silence fear, and unlock the strength you didn't know you had. Decision is not just a choice. It is a declaration. It is you telling yourself and the world, this is the path I will take, and I will not turn back. Psychology shows us that the human brain craves certainty. When you remain undecided, your mind stays in chaos, running in circles, doubting, hesitating, overthinking. But the moment you decide, clarity arrives. The noise fades, energy gathers, your focus sharpens. Suddenly, what felt impossible begins to look inevitable. Think about the moments in your life when you changed direction. It always began with a decision, not a wish, not a hope, a decision to walk away from what was holding you back, to step toward what was waiting for you, to stop saying someday and start saying it today. That decision didn't just change your actions, it changed who you were becoming. The last week of September calls for such a moment, not a vague desire, not a half-hearted attempt, a decision that says enough is enough. This is the line, this is where I change. When you decide with conviction, doors open, opportunities appear, and even challenges become fuel, because you are no longer wondering if, you are focused on how. Remember, indecision steals time, but decision creates momentum. And momentum is what carries you forward when motivation fades. The power of decision is the key that turns the lock, the spark that lights the fire, the force that transforms urgency into action. Your future will not be built by chance, it will be built by the decisions you make today. And the most powerful decision of all is to answer the final call, not with hesitation, but with certainty, with courage, and with faith that you are ready to step into more. Every decision leads to a crossroads, one path ruled by fear, the other by courage. Fear whispers all the reasons you should wait, all the ways you might fail, all the dangers of stepping forward. But courage speaks differently. It says, yes, the risk is real, but so is the reward. Yes, fear exists, but it does not define me. The difference between a life trapped in hesitation and a life fueled by progress is not the absence of fear, but the presence of courage. Human psychology makes this clear. Fear is wired into us to protect us. It warns us of danger, but too often it exaggerates, keeping us small when we are meant to grow. Courage is not the removal of fear, it is the choice to act despite it. And when you act, something powerful happens. Fear begins to shrink, and courage begins to expand. Think of any person who transformed their life. They were not fearless. They were brave. They felt the same doubts, the same uncertainty, the same trembling in their chest, but they stepped in. And with every step, they proved to themselves that fear is a liar, that fear loses its power when faced head-on. The last week of September will test this very balance inside you. Fear will tell you to play it safe, to stay the same, to wait for a better time. But courage will call you to rise, to claim the opportunity, to trust in the strength that has always lived inside you. And this is the truth. Fear may keep you alive, but courage is what makes you truly live. When you choose courage, you rewrite your story. You stop letting fear dictate your choices. You take control of your path. And in that moment, you do not just face the future, you create it. The final call is not asking for fearlessness, it is asking for courage, the courage to step forward even when the ground feels uncertain. That is how change is born, and that is how destiny is claimed. When courage takes its place over fear, something remarkable awakens within you, an energy that only appears in the final stretch. Think about it. Athletes run harder in the last lap. Students focus deeply before the final exam, and people push with everything they have when they know the finish line is close. This is the psychology of the last week. It unlocks strength you didn't realize was there, because the mind senses urgency and the heart responds with fire. The last week of September carries that same force. It is not just another 7 days. It is a countdown that sharpens focus and multiplies effort. The human brain thrives under this pressure. When time feels short, distractions fade, clarity rises, and energy surges. What felt difficult yesterday suddenly feels possible today because the mind and body align with one purpose: to finish strong. This is why the final stretch is so powerful. It pushes you to give more, to fight harder, to dig deeper than you thought you could. And when you do, you discover a truth that changes everything. You were always capable of more. The limits you believed in were illusions. The strength you doubted was waiting for the right moment to show itself. That moment is now. Most people waste this energy by ignoring it. They drag through the last days thinking the week is already over. But those who understand the psychology of urgency know that the final week can carry more impact than all the weeks before it combined. One bold move, one decisive action, one fearless step in this last stretch can shift the entire direction of your life. The last week energy is not ordinary. It is rare, it is a gift, and it is asking you to rise with it. Do not crawl into the end of September, run into it. Let this final push prove to you that you are stronger, braver, and more determined than fear ever allowed you to believe. There is a powerful secret in human psychology. The mind moves faster toward goals that are already celebrated. When you congratulate yourself in advance, you are not lying to yourself. You are programming your brain for victory. You are creating the belief that success is already yours. And once the mind accepts it, the body begins to follow. Most people wait until the finish line to celebrate, but that is why they often struggle to reach it. They push forward with doubt, with hesitation, with a fear of failure weighing on them. But those who win in life carry a different mindset. They see themselves as victorious before the battle begins. They feel the reward before it arrives. And that belief fuels them with unstoppable drive. Imagine yourself already stepping into the life you are building. Imagine hearing the words "well done" from your future self. Imagine looking back at this very week and knowing it was the turning point. That feeling is not just a dream, it is energy, it is fuel. It is a vision pulling you forward when obstacles try to hold you back. The last week of September is your chance to practice this mindset. Do not wait for proof before you believe. Believe first and the proof will come. Congratulate yourself for answering the call. Congratulate yourself for breaking cycles, for choosing courage, for stepping into urgency. Every time you affirm your progress, your brain releases strength, your confidence grows, and your steps become more powerful. This is not arrogance, it is preparation. It is aligning your inner world with the future you are building. And when inner belief matches outer action, success becomes inevitable. So hear this clearly: congratulations in advance, not because the journey is over, but because you have already chosen to walk. Not because everything is easy, but because you are stronger than the struggle. Carry this truth and you will discover that victory was never waiting at the end. It was with you all along. Celebrating in advance is powerful because it triggers the deepest truth about change. It always begins within. The world outside may look the same, but the moment your mindset shifts, everything around you starts to transform. The human brain does not act on what it sees. It acts on what it believes. And when belief changes, behavior follows. The shift within is not about waiting for perfect conditions. It is about creating strength from the inside out. When you decide that you are capable, your actions align with that belief. When you decide you are worthy, you stop settling for less. When you decide your time is now, hesitation loses its grip. Every transformation you seek in life is rooted in this inner choice. Many people fail to change because they focus only on the external. They want new results without new thinking. They want a different life without a different mindset. But real breakthroughs happen the moment the inner voice changes from doubt to determination, from fear to faith, from maybe to must. That is the true shift, the one that no one else can see but everyone else can feel. The last week of September is not just a countdown on the calendar, it is an invitation to shift within, to see yourself not as who you have been, but as who you are becoming, to let go of the old identity that feels small and step into the self that is ready for more. When this shift happens, obstacles stop looking like walls and start looking like steps. Challenges no longer break you, they build you. And the future no longer feels uncertain. It feels alive with possibility. This is the secret of lasting change. The external world may resist, but once the shift within has taken root, nothing can stop the transformation that follows. Once the inner shift takes place, momentum becomes your greatest ally. Change is rarely a single dramatic event. It is a series of small, consistent steps that gather speed over time. Like a snowball rolling downhill, every choice you make adds weight, energy, and direction to your journey. Momentum does not demand perfection, it only demands persistence. Think of it this way. The first step is always the hardest because it carries the most resistance. Doubt whispers, fear presses down, and old habits try to pull you back. But with each repeated action, resistance weakens and movement becomes easier. What once felt impossible slowly becomes automatic. You no longer fight to create change, you flow with it. Momentum is built by stacking small wins. A single healthy choice today makes the next one easier tomorrow. 1 hour of focus compounds into days of progress. A single act of courage plants the seed for greater confidence. Over time, these actions transform into unstoppable force. The beauty of momentum is that it does not just move you forward. It also pulls you away from the past you are leaving behind. But momentum requires direction. Moving fast without clarity leads to burnout and frustration. Moving with purpose, however, with vision, it compounds. As the days of September close, remember that momentum is not about doing everything at once. It is about starting small, staying consistent, and trusting that the energy you create today will multiply tomorrow. When you honor the shift within by fueling it with persistent action, you no longer chase change, you embody it. Momentum carries you toward the life you were always meant to live. Momentum may set things in motion, but consistency is what ensures the journey continues. Many people start strong, fueled by motivation and excitement, but they fade when challenges arise or when the novelty wears off. True transformation, however, is not built in bursts of energy. It is carved into reality discipline. Consistency is the invisible thread that connects small actions to lasting results. Think of consistency as the proof of commitment. Anyone can act once, but showing up repeatedly, even when no one is watching, separates those who merely dream from those who achieve. Each repetition, no matter how ordinary it feels, is a brick laid in the foundation of your future. Skipping one day may feel insignificant, but over time, the gaps weaken the structure. Staying consistent, on the other hand, reinforces it until the results become undeniable. Consistency also rewires the mind. What begins as effort gradually transforms into identity. You no longer say, "I am trying to be disciplined." You simply become a disciplined person. Your actions shift from forced decisions to natural habits. This is the moment when progress accelerates because you are no longer relying on willpower alone. You are operating from a new identity. But consistency is not about perfection. There will be days of struggle, setbacks, and moments when you fall short. What matters most is the return, the ability to realign, recommit, and continue forward without surrendering the bigger vision. Even imperfect consistency is more powerful than occasional bursts of intensity. As the days unfold, ask yourself, what small action can I repeat daily that aligns with my vision? It may be as simple as reading a few pages, practicing gratitude, or dedicating focused time to a meaningful goal. Over time, these small acts accumulate, forming the rhythm of transformation. With consistency, momentum does not fade. It compounds, carrying you further than you once believed possible.